All right, welcome to the team call. It is June 19th. We have an amazing speaker. I actually spoke on her team call a couple weeks ago, and she's like the sweetest soul ever. So her name is Megan Hess. We actually met, I think, at NLC. I don't remember. Maybe not. I don't know.
NLC, and then you came to Wisconsin Super Weekend.
Yeah, so I flew out to Wisconsin for Super Weekend. She was there, and then we had met at NLC in January. She's a 2-star diamond, but she's in 3-star qualifications. So what that means is she's helped 2 people rank advanced to diamond, which is 4 coaches on each side, to emerald. So 1 on each side that are emerald. So she's done that, and now she's helped another person hit diamond, and she's in 3-star quals. She's a Success Club 10 All-Star legend. So she's helped 5 people consistently every single month. She's been coaching for 4.5 years, and she's from Wisconsin, and she's 27 years old. Take it away. I forgot your topic, so you take it away. Talk about whatever you want.
That's okay. Hi, guys. First of all, how awesome hearing all of those names that already have Success Club locked in. I think it's so important to lock it in early on in the month. And this is actually kind of funny because when Bailey spoke on my team call, she had said that she was at like Success Club 4 and right before she was going to be on my team call, and she's like, I am not coming to speak on your team call, not having Success Club locked in, and had like Success Club 16 locked in. As of last night, I was at Success Club 6, and I was like, okay, same thing. I'm not going to come speak on this team call, not having Success Club 10 locked in. And so now, finally, as of last night or this morning, I hit Success Club 12 because I really think that urgency creates focus. And tonight, I'm kind of going to talk about cutting out excuses, and really, if you want to focus your business and level up, if you don't have something urgent that you're working towards, you're not going to be focused and you're not going to continue to move forward. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth with sharing my screen, with not sharing my screen, just because I like to kind of see faces, and I don't make as pretty of PowerPoints as Bailey does because she's a graphics queen. So first, I just want to tell you a little about myself. So I've been coaching for 4.5 years, but I wasn't like always all in with coaching. So prior to Beachbody, I'll give you the rundown. I had failed out of college my first year. I was in a relationship. The relationship ended really badly. That spiraled into a lot of drinking, a lot of eating, a lot of not going to class, which resulted in me failing out of college. I gained 40 pounds from all of the drinking, all of the eating. I was very depressed with a set in stone. After I had failed out of college, I decided to join the military. I was like, if there's any way up for me, this is the only way there is. Joined the military, got back into school, went to counseling 3 times a week, and I was actually on suicide watch and was on antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, and a 3rd medication to help me be able to sleep at night. I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment. I legitimately did not have any friends. It was just me and my dog. I went an entire year without posting on social media because I was like, I don't want anyone to judge me, so I just won't say anything, won't show my life, nothing. No one needs to see anything about me because who even cares? I think it's important to note that I had negative $700 in my bank account. So for people that give me the price objection, that is not like a real thing to me. I legitimately had negative $700 in my bank account. I came across my coach's before and after photos, and I just knew of her. She was in some classes with me. And I asked her in class, I was like, your photos look like you look amazing. You look happy, which is like the first thing that I noticed more so than the transformation. And she told me what she was doing. And when I signed up, I don't know how many of you know this, but when I signed up, a challenge pack, you got 1 program on DVD with Shakeology, and that was $140. Now, like this month, you get all programs on Beachbody Demand for $140, $160, whatever. So anyway, she was like, I did this 21-day fix program. It's 3 weeks, you can do it from home. you get this shake that tastes super good and it's 140. And immediately I was like, I literally don't have 140 to my name, so no thank you. Later that evening, like less than 5 hours later, I messaged her and I was like, I have some money on my plasma card. How do I sign up? I was giving plasma literally to be able to pay for groceries and gas and all of those things. I wasn't working to catch up on bills. I was working and going further into debt. So when I say that Beachbody saved my life, like it actually saved my life. I had a suicide plan, a very negative bank account, no friends. It saved my life. Fast forward a little bit, I got started, and when I got my package in the mail, this is like the first thing that I'd been excited about in a very long time. So I went all in. I did not miss a day on the first 21-day fix. I did not cheat on the meal plan. And then after the 3 weeks, I was signed up as a customer, and then like a week and a half in, my coach was like, I was like, oh, I love Shakeology, but there's no way I can afford that every month. And she told me, she's like, well, you can sign up as a coach and get the discount. And I saw the value in it. I liked how it tasted. I didn't like to cook. I was in school, so it was easy on the go. And so I was like, okay, sign me up as a coach. So I signed up as a coach like a week and a half in. After I finished 21-day fix, I shared my before and after photos, and I shared just like a small piece of my story. Mind you, I went an entire year without posting on social media prior to this, so that was very scary for me. And I was like, I'm going to just delete Facebook after this because I'm going to get so much hate mail. And the amount of like love and support and people wanting more information just from sharing a real, raw story, not just like, here's my results, but telling my story with it. I hit Success Club that very first day. I was a Success Club All-Star in my first 3 months. But then I kind of like just went in a little bit. I was very in and out. So I didn't go all in with coaching, but I saw a little bit of income coming in. I, would hit Success Club kind of inconsistently, a little bit here, a little bit there. And then, it started to help pay for groceries and gas a little bit and my phone bill a little bit, just kind of dipping my toes in it. I hit Emerald fairly quickly, so I was getting team cycle bonuses from hitting Success Club, but it wasn't like a whole lot in the beginning, but it was enough to like keep me, I never quit. I just wasn't always all in. And so got on my journey. I fell in love with my now fiance. Was seeing a little bit of success, and then we got pregnant. I was told that I was not ever going to be able to get pregnant, so we did not use protection. Don't hear my sex story. So we got pregnant, and then I was like, well, fuck, now what? I haven't finished school yet. Like, we hadn't even been dating a year, and I didn't know what to do. And I really felt like the world is coming down on me, and I was playing the victim card. And little by little, I kept sharing my journey. I was stuck at Emerald for 2 years, and I just dabbled in a little bit. And so finally I asked this coach, because I never had a working upline. So I reached out to this coach that I had been seeing, and I was like, listen, I know you don't know me, but would you be willing to hop on a one-on-one with me and just give me a little bit of guidance? And I was sleeping in. I didn't have class until 10:30 a.m. and I was sleeping until 10. And she was like, you have so much morning to watch a YouTube video, to learn a little bit, look up Melanie Mitro. And I was like, who's Melanie Mitro? I didn't know anything. And so I just started watching YouTube videos, learning a little bit. I started inviting a little bit more, and things started to roll a little bit. And then at 20 weeks, we were told that our baby had some issues. We needed to go see a specialist, get some tests run. Her organs were growing on the outside of her body. And our doctor at the time told us that she had a 4% chance of survival. So not only did I fail out of college, had a negative bank account, did not have a lot of friends, got pregnant not knowing that I was able to get pregnant with a guy that I wasn't even with for a year, and now I was going to lose this baby. I won't go through all of that. That was like a long kind of journey, and it was a very, very tough time. Fast forward a little bit, everything turned out to be okay, and we saw a specialist and took precautions, and we were in the NICU. We had a very long NICU stay, and she is very healthy, very happy. She's 3 years old. She's fantastic. We're engaged. And so I'm just going to share my screen real quick. So I went from this on the left. Maybe it's not like the most terrible picture visually, but looking at it, I remember how I felt. I remember trying to look my absolute best, but not feeling my absolute best, knowing that I was going to go out, get trashed, drink a whole lot, and go home alone, to now I never knew a love like this existed. Tyler is like my entire world. Blair is, if you're a mom, you know that threes suck. I hate the stage of parenting, but it just, to me, is a miracle that she's even here. And I have Beachbody to thank for that. And so that's kind of where I was, where we kind of went. And then after Blair, so I still wasn't like totally all in with the business and really like working every single day consistently and like, you know, all of that stuff. But once I had Blair and I was home and then, you know, my income was going up, I finally got to a point where like I wasn't negative anymore in my bank account. But I wasn't being consistent in the business. And I was like, okay, we now have $1 million hospital bill. We are living in a really kind of gross house that we're renting right now. Like something has got to give. So I want you to imagine or pretend for a second that your kids, or if you don't have kids, your loved ones, your pets, or whoever it is, you left them at home and you went to the grocery store and you're on your way home and you realized that smoke is coming from your neighborhood. And as you get close to your neighborhood, you realize that the smoke is coming from the street that your house is on. And then as you get to your street, you realize that the smoke is actually coming from your house. Your house is on fire. And for all you know, your loved ones are inside with no way out. So you drive up the street as fast as you possibly can, you jump the curb, and you park on the grass. You jump out of your car and you run, like you sprint to the door. But somewhere in between your car and the house, your keys fly out and you have no idea where they are, right? The house is on fire. You don't have time to go look for your keys. Your house is on fire. Your loved ones are in there. How many of you, by raise of hand, if your loved ones are inside, how many of you are kicking down that door, punching a window, getting a way in, right? Abso-freaking-lutely. I am getting in that house. If my daughter is in there, you bet your ass some way I am getting in that house. Now, take a second, look at it from another angle. Your loved ones are inside. Take away the loved ones, take away the fire. You come home from the grocery store, you can't find your keys, you're locked out of the house. Is anyone kicking down a door? Or is anyone punching down a window? Like, probably not. You're probably going to go sit in your car, call a locksmith or whatever, play on your phone for an hour or two until the locksmith shows up. Or if you're like me, you're going to climb through a window and like, you know, just eventually get in the house. Urgency creates focus. I think that is so, so important. Coaches always say that you have to make sacrifices in the beginning. Skip a girls' night out, stop watching Netflix, stop watching The Bachelor live and watch the recordings. You can get through it faster. Have, conversations with your significant other to communicate your goals with them so they don't think that you're spending time away from them for just no reason, right? I don't think those are sacrifices. I think you're sacrificing your life by not doing those things because your future depends on you doing the work. The way that you want to live right now. So are you willing to sacrifice your future by watching another episode of Netflix? If you flip the switch there, are you willing to sacrifice your dream house because you can't skip a girls' night out? Are you willing to sacrifice your freedom, living life on your terms, financially free, debt free, whatever your dreams are? Are you willing to sacrifice what could be because you're so tired and you need to go to sleep early even though you didn't get all of your stuff done? I don't think we sacrifice, what people tend to think that we sacrifice. I think the sacrifice is you're sacrificing your future by not putting in the work right now. So why are you here? And I know, I'm sure you've heard this so many times. I'm sure you've had trainings on this, but why are you here? What we have is the greatest gift that God, the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, whatever greater power, it is a gift. Urgency creates focus. And if you don't have urgency to accomplish anything, chances are you don't have a why. And if you don't have a why, chances are that you're going to make excuses day after day. I know, because I did that. And your why, I was telling someone the other day, like one of my customers, like, why do you want to achieve results? And all she said was, I want to lose weight. And I asked her, I was like, by you saying that, does that make you want to go push play on your workout right now? And she's like, no, I want to eat a piece of cake. And like, I laughed about it, but it has to provoke some sort of emotion. Your why should make you not want to go to bed tonight. It should make you want to get out of bed in the morning. It should make you want to get to work. If you don't want to get to work, if you're not fired up, you do not have a why, or whatever you think your why is not actually your why. So I didn't really take the whole like figure out your why thing seriously in the beginning until I read Get Over Your Damn Self. And if you haven't read that, highly recommend it. Hopefully you'll have, because it's amazing. And I physically wrote out like in great detail. And then I read it every single day for 3 weeks. That's what it recommends in the book, to read it for 21 days. Maybe that was a different book that I got that from. But anyways, I read it for 21 days straight, every single morning, first thing that I did. And then from the time I did that, wrote out my why, got very, like, I knew what my why was, got very, whatever, I can't think of the word. But when I like really wrote it down and like took it seriously, from the time I did that, and 6 months later, after having that deep, deep reason why, and that it provoked an emotion inside of me to actually do the things, this is what happened. Remember, I was Emerald for like 2 years, and I finally made the strong why. This was 6 months later. This started to be my consistent weekly paycheck. I did not have a big team. I did not have a working upline. If you have a working upline, then you're getting volume coming down. So for me, I had even legs, and I had to start building them from scratch. And now, like, residual income, those team cycle bonuses, that is what you want to work for. You need to be recruiting coaches. You need to talk about the coaching opportunity. Or if you're like kick-ass at, just recruiting challengers, then you need to give them a kick-ass experience, turn them into coaches, and tell them, just help 2 people. Help 2 people, sign them up as coaches, and you reach the next rank. You don't need to overcomplicate it. That's what happens when you have a strong why, when you take out those excuses, when you have something to work towards. I was working with a small group of people to help them, push for Diamond. And I actually kicked a couple people out of it and I asked them, like, do you feel like getting to Diamond by the date, like I had them all pick their own dates within a certain, like it had to be, not like 9 months from now, it had to be like within 3 months. And I asked them, like, do you feel like it's urgent that you hit Diamond by your date? And the people that said no, I respectfully removed them from the group, because urgency creates focus. If it's not urgent to you to hit that next rank, or even just to hit Success Club, and there's, what's his name, Greg Arnold or Greg something or another. He recruits 2 coaches a month. He's in the Million Club. Like, you don't have to be some rock star recruiter. Of course, that takes longer when you're just recruiting 2 people a month. So if you're just, you're hitting Success Club, hopefully 10 or more consistently, and you're just bringing on 2 coaches a month, that's going to add up over time if you're doing that consistently. You have systems in place. I'm sure whoever your uplines are, Bailey, and the other girls, Courtney, Marie, I'm sure they have stuff for you. I'm sure you have more uplines that have helped you. But if you have that stuff set in place, then you have got it. But you have to have a strong why. And some things that I started to do, so I made up my why. And I was not, and I'm still am not always motivated. What I do is I set alarms on my phone, and I set 3 different alarms during times when I know that I'm not busy. Because if I'm busy, it doesn't really benefit me, because I can't like focus on it. So during 3 times throughout the day when I know that I have free time, I set my goals, whatever my goals are. So for example, for me, dream house, elite coach. Blair is my daughter's name. Blair is worth the work. So I have those 3 alarms. That's what I set the alarm name as, that go off 3 different times throughout the day. And it just keeps reminding me of my why. Out of sight, out of mind. If you're not constantly looking at it, then it's not even in your mind and you have nothing that you're really working towards. So after this call, the first thing that you need to do, if you don't already have a strong why, is evaluate your why and what it is that you actually want, because not everyone probably has the same goals. Maybe you love your job. If you know, like Holly Hillier and Keisha Fitzgerald, they both had really awesome 6-figure earning jobs, and it was going really well for them. Keisha didn't necessarily, want to quit her job, but this started to work for her. And so her goal wasn't always to, be a $1 million earning coach. So yours doesn't have to be either. Maybe you have a job that you love and you just, genuinely want to help people. Or maybe you're like, I just want to help 3 people every single month to pay for my product. Then help 3 people every single month. But what is your why? Why are you here? And whatever the reason is, does it make you want to work? If not, then that is not your why. You need to step back and reevaluate it. So what do you want your life to look like 5 years from now? And then what happens when you look 5 years from now into the future and your life looks the exact same because you didn't put in the work? How does that make you feel? Right? Those are the deep questions that you need to ask yourself. And then if you think Beachbody is amazing, this is something that just completely blows my mind. When people think that Beachbody is amazing and this is the answer, and I have this huge vision. If you believe that it's the answer, then why do people act like it's optional to put in the work? If this is the answer, it's not optional. That's your future, right? So you have what it takes, and I think it's so important for you to feel that, to know that. This doesn't take any special person. Coach Tulin Emery, she was literally broke and homeless when she started coaching. Lindsay Matway, she had 2 alcoholic parents and her home was going under foreclosure, and she had a child with a brain bleed, and she was bartending, right? And now she's the top earning coach in all of Beachbody. There are so many different stories. You have what it takes. It's whether or not your actions meet your words. What you're saying, are those the actions that you're putting into it? And then I want to kind of leave you with this. I'm going to share my screen again.
Wake up. It's a new day. It's a new week. And if you choose it, it's a new life. You get to decide right now who you want to be. You get to choose in this moment how you want to show up in the world. Believe that you're worth it. Believe that you can. Believe that you're capable of whatever you set your mind to. Ask yourself, how would the best version of me live out this day? Waking up an hour earlier and using that time for yourself, using that time to work on your goal, you have time. You're just spending it doing something else. Success is about choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Imagine it in detail. See yourself eating the way the best version of you would. Staying hydrated. If you are not taking care of your physical body, there is a 0% chance that you're going to become the version of yourself you want to be. Working out, dressing, speaking to others, looking for blessings throughout the day, the way the best. You are creating your reality right now. You are the only person who is in charge of what happens next. You've got to stop procrastinating. You've got to embrace right now, and you've got to fire yourself up to propel yourself to the future. You need to own what you do. You need to own what you do. See yourself in detail and map out the day in your mind. If you cannot be the person you want to be right now, in this second, right now, if you can't make the decision right now, in this moment, you don't have a why that's strong enough. And if you don't have a why that's strong enough right now, you won't have a why that's strong enough on Monday. If you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. Don't leave today's version of you to a random chance. Choose who you want to be. Choose how you want to be. Then live today accordingly.
That's all I have.
That was amazing. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for Megan? Any good takeaways? You guys can not be shy and talk.
Megan, you're a baller.
Thank you.
You're a total badass, dude. I have a question for you. So what tips would you give to people who have struggled with some of these substance abuse issues or, you know, addictions, mental health issues, just like, because we know that if we're in that habit, obviously, if you're in that habit of those coping mechanisms, it's really hard to break that. And so I find that a lot of the coaches that join my team that struggle with that, sometimes they'll come to a stressful point or like a transition or something in their life where all the stress is there, because it's easy to do the coaching stuff when it's a good day, right? When everything is lined up. But then when that stress comes back, how do you handle like those moments? Do you have like coping strategies or replacement strategies that you've developed?
So I still go to therapy every single week, and for the longest time I didn't. But I think everyone can benefit from therapy. I don't know. Most of it is talking about my business. But a lot of times I'll talk about my relationship, and like I was abused as a child too, and so like that stuff comes up and stuff, and it's hard. That's stuff that you don't let go of. So I always recommend therapy to people because, you know, if you're not in your best mindset, how can you possibly help somebody else? And that's the goal here, right? Is to help so many people because we really do have a gift. A couple other things that I do is I write out my affirmations. For me, it helps to just like stop what I'm doing. I know that if I'm not in the right mindset, my messages are going to come off accordingly. And so I just pause my work because I have to be in the right mindset. And so I'll write out my affirmations of like what it is that I'm working towards. So one thing that I have actually read them, and I did this today. I was really stressed out because my 3-year-old was like driving me nuts, and then like I heard no 32 times today, and it's stressful sometimes, but that stuff happens. And so I paused, I sat down, and I rewrote my affirmations. And one is, you know, I only fly first class. I earn $3,000 a week. I easily help 20 new women every single month. I am debt free. I have a full-time nanny, and Tyler, my fiance, does not have to work. All because of Beachbody. I always end it all because of Beachbody. And it just reminds myself that what I have is a gift. Our workout programs are a gift. And then also I have like a group, because one of like my big things is like my mindset and like how depression, like I'm thankful for my depression because I think had I not gone through those struggles, it wouldn't have brought me to Beachbody. And so a lot of people that join me, it's like they also struggle with depression and stuff. And so we have this like mindset group for people that have like struggled with that stuff, and we'll post in there. So maybe like creating a group of like open, you know, no judgment kind of thing, posting when you have a bad day. Just it's nice to have other people there to lift you up.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll type my Instagram in there.
I have a little takeaway. I liked in that video how they said dressing, working out, and showing up is the best possible version of yourself. I feel like that's super important. I dealt with a lot of grief this year, and I feel like my business was kind of like stalling. And, you know, I had to look at myself and say, you know, if I want more, I'm going to have to be more. And it's going to start with just showing up as the best possible version of yourself, like eating properly, working out. And if you do those things, like, I'm going to look like crap right now, but it like legitimately been like taking a shower and like getting ready and, you know, doing a program. And I feel like, you know, like Rachel Hollis said that. And I feel like it's so important because, you know, she talks to millions of network marketers all over the country and just women in general. And I think just doing that takes practice. I mean, it takes work, right? But just that, it feels like 50% of the battle. And I can relate that to even like Beachbody coaching, because those things, showing up, getting ready, showing up as the best possible version of yourself, eating right, and doing your workouts, means so much. And I feel like, Megan, you really spoke to me with that, because a lot of the things you said I can relate to. And, those things really, really helped. So, and I've been doing that, and it's really helped me. So, and I feel like you saying that and then hearing her say that, I really connected with it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of funny, like that you mentioned that though. One of the first things that I tell my new coaches is, like, if you dress like a hot mess every single day, start dressing like your best self, because one, it's going to make better photos for Instagram, but two, like, you're going to feel more confident. And on like Wednesdays and Fridays, my daughter doesn't go to daycare, and those days I usually will sit in my piece, and then those are the days that I usually don't get stuff done. My message doesn't come across how I want it to, and I just don't feel good. And so I absolutely agree, and I'm glad that you shared that too. Point that out.
I have a question. So I'm assuming you probably get a lot of people, or like customers and coaches that probably struggle with depression. If you get a coach that wants to sign up right away as a coach with depression, how do you help them get over the barrier of doing that first post? Because I struggle from it too. And a lot of my coaches have a really hard time getting that first post done, because opening up and talking about any problem in their life is really hard, especially you get that. So what kind of tips would you give a new coach that struggles as well?
So I always will tell them, if you're not comfortable opening up about it yet, because it's, a lot of people who start coaching, they're not actively posting on social media 1 time a day or 3 times a day or whatever. So it's a new thing. And so I encourage them, if you are comfortable, come out and tell people, a little bit of your story, that I've been dealing with depression and have decided to turn to health and fitness to try and cope with that, without the intention of selling anything, just putting your story out there and seeing how people respond to it, because that kind of stuff, people aren't going to be able about that kind of stuff, right? It's your real and raw story. Or if they're not comfortable about it, not directly saying it, and saying something, beating around the bush of I've been going through so much lately, and I've recently decided to take the health and fitness route to try and deal with my emotions, and live a happier, healthier life. So just trying to put it out like that, beating around the bush a little bit, but leading up to being able to tell that story and put your life out there more. And I talk in my Instagram stories, every time I go to therapy, I talk about it in my stories, and I always ask a poll of do you go to therapy? Yes or no, but I wish. And so many, a lot of people will say no, but I wish. And I always reach out to them and I ask them well, why not? And it's usually they're scared of something or another, and it opens up that connection with us. And so many people start going to therapy. Not everyone joins me, but I feel good that I made an impact on their life and encourage them to go to therapy. And a lot of them, they end up joining me and they thank me. And it's so funny. In the beginning of my business, I would say it's such a good feeling when people thank you for helping them. And I didn't have that many people doing that, but now so many people actually tell me I saved their life because I shared my journey. And so if you can open up and share your journey just a little bit more, inspire just one person, focus on talking to one person versus I needed to try. And then 2, you honestly could save somebody's life.
Anyone else have any more questions? Anybody?
I just want to say thank you for being so transparent about that, because it's something very hard to talk about. So just thank you for putting that out there. I don't even have words. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. This was absolutely amazing.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Let's see. Carrie, Fit Crew gets off with her link. Court will probably stay on. Marie, I don't know. Your peeps. What do you want?